Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I think it's afternoon in all parts of Canada right now because we have a great selection of folks joining us from coast to coast. My name is Andy Fraze. I'm the head of sales here at CDW Canada for Western Canada. Excited to welcome you to our bingo event here tonight. So CDW and Mimecast are getting together to bring this to you, also to talk a little bit about ransomware. So. Um, from a CDW perspective, Owen, if you could just advance there. Certainly, doing events like this, we couldn't do it without your feedback. And similar, the way that CDW's business is growing is in response to what customers are asking about, what customers are thinking about. So everything that we're doing has that heart and mindset for our customers, and we're going to continue to add capabilities. We're going to continue to develop capabilities from product, hardware, software sales through professional services, managed services, to help serve your business and help you get to where you want to go. So thank you for providing that feedback to us. Thank you for your feedback on events like this. Um, Owen, if you can go forward again, I'm not going to take up a lot of too much time. You know that CDW is a place where we have the best partners in the industry that you work with. Mimecast is here today, one of those very special partners, to talk to us a little bit about ransomware. It's something that has been, top of mind for a great number of years. Certainly, we saw as security vectors and attack surfaces changed as we went to work from home. It's popped up again and again. It's persisted, and it continues to be something that we're thinking about. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. So after Owen charms you with his information and presentation, we're going to ask our customers to play a bingo game, which is going to be a lot of fun. So thanks again from CDW for joining us today. If you have any questions about the content, you have the Mimecast team here. You have some CW folks. Get a hold of me directly if you need to, and we can do any follow-ups that are required. So thanks again from CW for joining us today. Owen, let me pass it over to you.
Thank you very much, Andy. Hi everyone. So my name is Owen Dykstra, and I am a sales engineer with Mimecast. And today we're going to take a few minutes to discuss one of the biggest concerns in cybersecurity today, and how Mimecast can help you and your organization gain the peace of mind you need to work protected. So Mimecast can help protect from ransomware, but we certainly cannot solve the problem alone. If any vendor claims they can, I highly suggest you challenge them on that. And the reason why is that ransomware is a symptom, and it's very complex. Ransomware attacks start in so many different ways. They might not actually start as a ransomware attack. In fact, many don't. Typically, we see threat actors trying to infiltrate an organization's defenses for another reason, such as to steal data, or sometimes just to prove that they can. And typically, this will involve compromising a user, an admin, computer, some sort of IT system. And now the original actor can turn a profit and sell access to a threat actor who specializes in ransomware, or they can launch their own ransomware attack. So a lot of cybersecurity tools touch on this, and while all cyber defense can be considered in helping with the fight against ransomware, it's becoming increasingly apparent that coordination is a key. We see that email remains the #1 attack vector, so it's imperative that you get the absolute best email security possible. And we see some ransomware does come directly through email. Today, these are typically opportunistic attacks using obfuscated attachments with payloads like Strictor or TeslaCrypt, as an example. We have ransomware as a service, and those threat actors use more complex attacks, like port scanning to look for vulnerabilities in your IT systems, advanced credential phishing, and password stuffing using remote access protocols. But the goal is always the same: to try and compromise credentials, computers, and other IT systems to gain a foothold inside an organization. And it's not getting any easier, right? Complexity is increasing. The threats continue to evolve. The number of ransomware threat actors is growing rapidly. Last October, we were tracking 15 main ransomware groups, and today we have literally lost count, made even more difficult by the fact that they quite often go quiet while they're writing new code to evolve their attack and pop up again at a later time. This complexity means that no single security control can form a ransomware defense, and no single vendor should be expected to solve this problem. We at Mimecast, however, are very well placed to help with much of the problem, not only by addressing email, but with our technology exchange that's built in to augment your other defenses so we can all fight ransomware together. So let's take a look at which Mimecast services can help. So being prepared is absolutely critical, right? And with awareness training, you can strengthen your users and help them spot potential threats and help you understand and address areas of risk. With DMARC, which stands for Domain Message Authentication, Reporting, and Conformance, and don't worry, there's not going to be a test afterwards. But with DMARC, we're able to better protect your organization and brand, your customers and partners and suppliers by ensuring that only authorized entities are able to send email on your behalf. And here's where we can help while the attack is in progress. First, email security with targeted threat protection. And Mimecast has industry leading in email security. We see email is the #1 attack vector. And of course, as we have seen, and I just discussed, some opportunistic ransomware attacks do still start with email. Others may gain a foothold through methods like credential harvesting, and they will later become a ransomware play. So you must deploy the best possible defenses to block all email attacks. As web and email continue to be manipulated at the heart of all malicious activity, browser isolation becomes a key ransomware defense, not only to help with credential harvesting, help preventing it, but also any drive-by downloaded ransomware is now executed and contained in a remote browser session and not on a user's endpoint. Email continuity lets you keep your most important business communication tools running during an attack, right? During a ransomware attack, you must restrict access to certain applications to prevent the attack from spreading. As an example, as we see all the time, malware quite commonly copies itself into everyone's, into every user's address book to propagate. Mimecast email continuity provides safe email access, even if you've been forced to take your productivity platform and your servers offline, allowing your users to continue working. When business resilience is the goal, recovering from an attack is absolutely essential. And with our internal email protect, we can help you in a few different ways. During an attack, it can help identify compromised email accounts that are being used to spread email threats laterally throughout your organization. And once the attack is contained, you can use it to take remedial action. As an example, you can go and search and destroy every instance of malicious emails in your environment. Very, very useful, especially with those opportunistic ransomware attacks that start with email. And then finally, sync and recover is an independent, compliant recovery that is subject to the exact same security. So you can restore emails to complete inboxes, knowing that you're not reintroducing a threat that you've already previously remediated. And this is all underpinned by the Mimecast X1 platform, our threat intel, our open APIs, and our built-in integrations. You can leverage our ecosystem partners for consistent protection through bilateral threat sharing across perimeter, endpoint, and cloud security solutions. You can also get visibility and control for incident response coupled with remediation capabilities across all security platforms. A great example, using Palo Alto's Cortex XDR or XSOAR, or with Splunk SIM or Phantom. So to wrap up, Mimecast is absolutely playing our part, but critically, through technology exchange, we enable you with the necessary tools to take the fight against ransomware. So again, my name is Owen Dykstra, and at this point, I'd like to open up if anybody has any questions for us. And if not, I know it's a little bit early, but if nobody has questions, maybe we can get into playing some bingo. Yeah, everybody, if you have any questions, please pop them into the chat. Be happy to answer anything.
All right, I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. Mitch, I don't know if you're there, but if we are and you're good to go, we can start heading into bingo.
Owen, you have a question in the chat. Let me read it out to you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Does this work together with Office 365 ATP Defender, or does it replace it?
That's a great question. We're really a complement to it. So it is a replacement for ATP Defender, right? We would then sit on top, not on top. We would be the first point of access for email coming into your organization. We would then sanitize that email and deliver it to your Office 365 tenant. And then we would also provide the outbound security for those messages as well, and also have the ability to provide internal email protection as well for lateral protection within that. But yes, we would be a replacement or an add-on, a supplement to Microsoft's ATP Defender. Great question.
All right, Mitch, over to you.
We got one more question in the chat. We got two more. Owen, let's go.
Perfect.
We got three more. So let me start from the top. Do we have, this is from James, do we have a kind of ransomware infect procedure for the client users?
There's not necessarily a procedure itself, right? So essentially what we're doing is being able to prevent things like the reconnaissance work, the phishing that goes on to get credentials to access systems. We're able to identify any potential drive-by ransomware, right? If it's through email, we're able to detect and protect users from that. And really, for the end user, when using Mimecast, there's nothing in particular that they need to do or think about. We're taking care of all of that on the back end for them. In the case that they do encounter a link that then would download ransomware, we would execute that in a remote browser session to keep it separate from the user's endpoint and to stop it from being compromised. So again, really for the user and the tools that they would use, there's nothing that really needs to change with that end user experience.
Next one from Samuel. Can we schedule modules for users to take on demand?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Can we schedule modules for users to take on demand?
Oh, yeah, for awareness training, absolutely. There's a number of different ways that we can have that set up, right? You can have it on demand, you can schedule them. It's quite a flexible platform. And on that note, I'm a big fan of our awareness training. We do bite-sized videos. They're 2 to 3 minutes in length. They're comedic, episodic. They have a reoccurring cast of characters, and I find them really engaging and sticky with users. But great question. Thank you.
And last again from Rob, who's curious about impersonation prevention.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, it's one of the strengths of the Mimecast platform, and it comes down to a few different things. We see nearly 1 trillion pieces of email every year. So Mimecast has a very good idea of what an impersonation email looks like. And we go through a number of different checks when trying to identify, impersonation emails. We look at your domain and see if somebody is trying to spoof it. A few characters out, maybe something that looks very similar. We also know what the most commonly abused domains are, Microsoft and Google, some of the larger ones, and we look for variations of those. But we also identify who your most common communication partners are, and we look for, emails coming in that are trying to use variations of those domains. We look at your internal users to see if somebody's trying to send as somebody from inside your organization. We do keyword searches. We look at when the domain was registered, if it's a newly registered domain or the first time we're seeing traffic off of it. And using a combination of those various points, we're able to very accurately identify and notify users of when they're receiving impersonation emails.
Perfect.
Thank you. That's an amazing question. Thank you.
We'll give a slow countdown if anyone else has anything you'd like to ask Owen. But Mitch, you'll be on shortly if you could join us and lead us in some solid bingo playing. So I think going once for questions, going twice. I feel like this line works with the bingo game. Going 3 times. All right. Thanks everyone for your questions. Thanks for your attention. Let's get Owen and I will get out of the way, and we'll let you enjoy yourselves this afternoon. So, Mitch, if you could take it away, that would be much appreciated. Thanks everyone again for coming. And if you have any questions, follow up with your account manager. Follow up with one of the Mimecast team. We'll be more than happy to help you out.